Welcome to a special presentation for Nightmare 99, the top 20 under $20, brought to you by the Emerald City Trolls. This list of 20 cards is intended to suggest helpful tools and even entire archetypes, which can be had for $20 or less, with many of the most powerful cards much less than that. The list also emphasizes cards that may be new to old school players, and perhaps even pre-modern or middle school players. Also, special thanks to Will McGran for helping concoct this list. First up, we have two special mentions. These cards are just above the $20 price mark, but should prove quite helpful if you can get a few for your deck. Our first special mention is Null Rod. This artifact from Weatherlight shuts down all artifacts with activated abilities, turning off everything from Moxen to Time Vault to Metalworker. Many of the most powerful decks in the format cannot function with a Null Rod on the table, allowing a prepared opponent to attack them unfettered. Copies should be available in the mid to upper $20 ranges. Our second special mention is Force of Will, a card almost all players will be familiar with. This counterspell can be played for no mana, a critical capability for defending on the draw against combo decks, or for protecting your combo while going off. While Alliance's copies cost around $100, gold-bordered copies from the 1997 Champs decks are perfectly legal in Nightmare 99 and should be available for somewhere between $18 and $30. On to the top 20 for $20. Coming in at number 20 is Arcane Laboratory. Like Null Rod, Arcane Laboratory almost completely shuts down the ability of combo decks to play. If playing a Mox or a Lotus is the only thing you can do on your turn, it's going to take a long time to combo off. Meanwhile, you can attack them using fair means to try and seal the win. Arcane Laboratory shouldn't set you back more than $1 or so. Coming in at number 19 is Survival of the Fittest. With its ability to tutor for any creature in the deck, sometimes even taking advantage of the on-demand discard effect, Survival has been the engine behind many powerful decks over the years. In Nightmare 99, the only question is how to stay alive long enough to exploit its power, slightly dropping its rating in our list. Exodus copies are over $100, but the gold-bordered 1998 Champs copies will only set you back about $10 or $12. At number 18, we have Goblin Welder. Because its effect can target cards in either player's graveyard, Welder can help on both offense and defense. Trading a tapped Mana Vault for a Black Lotus you've already used, or your opponent's Time Vault for a Lotus Petal they've already used, is a great way to manipulate the board state to your advantage. Welders run a couple bucks. Number 17 brings us Exhume. Possibly the greatest reanimation spell ever printed, it has no drawback when you can get a fat creature into your graveyard before your opponent even gets a turn. A variety of strong threats are in Nightmare 99, making for a tantalizing search for the best combination in the card pool. Exhume was a common and should be easily obtainable. Coming in at number 16 is Second Chance. While it might be slightly slow as an enchantment, with life often able to be used as a resource with cards like Necropotence, it's not terribly difficult to make this card go off. When it does, the payoff of an extra turn can be immense in a powerful format like Nightmare 99. Second Chance's prices vary a bit from seller to seller, but are never more than a few dollars. At number 15 is Abeyance. If your opponent can't cast spells, they can't combo off, and they can't stop you from comboing off. Against many decks, this card will function as a time walk, and it replaces itself to boot. Abeyance should be available in the $2 to $4 range. At number 14, we have possibly the greatest creature in the Nightmare 99 card pool, Morphling. With its combination of activated abilities that can give it Shroud, Flying, Pseudo-Vigilance, and Pump Power or Toughness, it's a Swiss Army knife threat. The finisher of choice for years in control decks, especially while damage used the stack, it remains a powerful threat in Nightmare 99. Morphling still sees play in some formats, and should cost you $4 to $7. Coming in, appropriately enough, at number 13 is Doomsday. Doomsday may be the most skill-testing card to play in Magic. In the hands of a skilled pilot, the right Doomsday pile for almost any situation can be assembled to guarantee the win. But the margins are narrow, so play must be tight. It's possible a Doomsday deck is the most powerful deck in Nightmare 99. Doomsday is still very relevant to Vintage and should run $10 to $12. The 6th edition version is slightly cheaper too. Our 12th card is Windfall. This sorcery from Urza's Saga attempted to be a fixed version of Time Twister, but it turns out in many cases it will still draw 6 or 7 cards, especially in a dedicated combo deck. Unlike Time Twister, it makes players discard their hands, comboing with the combo finish from cards like Megrim. Windfall is very affordable, typically costing $2 to $4. Coming in at number 11 is another extra turn effect, Final Fortune. With power levels as high as they are in Nightmare 99, a single extra turn is often enough to win the game, making the supposed drawback of this instant relatively minor. The double red casting cost is the only thing holding this card back from a higher spot. Returning to normal following a recent Finance Bro spike, Final Fortune can be had for $1 or $2. Taking us into the top 10 is Elvish Spirit Guide. Fast mana is the name of the game in Nightmare 99, and one card for 1 extra mana is very nearly Mox level power in a format this fast. The mana is unfortunately green, but that's just fine when played with Crumble in an attempt to shut down an opponent's Time Vault or other artifact combo on the first turn on the draw. ESG is played in a variety of formats, but was an uncommon, making it available for less than $5. At number 9 is Academy Rector. This creature can put any enchantment in your deck onto the battlefield if you can find a way to kill it, making it an easy way to get a Yawgmoth's Bargain, Second Chance, or another broken enchantment into play. A multi-format all-star, Urza's Destiny Rectors run as much as $40, but gold border versions from Nicholas Labar's 2000 Champs deck go for around $10. Next up is the Ocho, Sphere of Resistance. Perhaps one of the best ways to throw a speed bump into a Mox-based mana base. Sphere of Resistance also taxes greedy opponents who need to play multiple spells per turn to win. It helps out protecting your own spells too, by making your opponent need to have mana to play Force of Will. Sphere of Resistance is played in Legacy, Vintage, and Commander, making it slightly more expensive in the $11 to $14 range. However, a gold border version from 1999 Champs is also available for $4. Coming in at number 7 is a card which has been restricted or banned in every sanctioned format, Tinker. With the ability to trade any artifact on your board for any other artifact in your deck, regardless of converted mana cost, Tinker turned out to be even more busted than the card it was based on, Transmute Artifact. The real question with Tinker is which broken artifacts to try to get with it. Despite its power, its limited legality in other formats makes Tinker quite affordable at $2 or less. Number 6 brings us the first land on our list. Ancient Tomb. Printed in an era when people had yet to fully realize the power of using life as a resource, Ancient Tomb provides a tremendous amount of ramp for any deck which wants colorless mana. Tempest copies are around $40, but the gold-bordered version from the 1999 champs, especially the one from Kai Bude, only costs around $10. Also of note, the other so-called Soul Land, City of Traders, is prohibitively expensive in black border, but one of the best gold-bordered deals around. Our first card in the top 5 is among the most powerful tutors ever printed. Demonic Consultation. While its drawback of removing cards from the game seems costly at first, it doesn't really matter if the card you're searching for is present in multiple copies and should win the game. This card has been restricted or banned in every sanctioned format as well. Despite this, it's powerful enough to set you back anywhere between $7 and $12. The fourth card on our list was banned before it was even released to the public. Memory Jar. A colorless draw 7, its ability was deemed too risky to allow into standard just after it was spoiled, even at 5 mana. Not to mention it was printed in the same set as Tinker. Despite its limited legality in modern Magic, it commands a roughly $15 price because of its power. Breaking into the top 3 is a piece of the most iconic card in Magic, Lotus Petal. Intended to tread a more balanced line between Black Lotus and Moxen, Petal turned out to be a very powerful ramp spell, especially in combo decks. Restricted in Vintage because of how well it supports the powerful spells of that format, Lotus Petal runs around $9. Our penultimate card is arguably the greatest source of artifact mana ever printed. Sol Ring. Providing both immediate ramp and a repeatable mana burst every turn after, only Black Lotus is worthy of discussion alongside Sol Ring as the best artifact mana source ever printed. Numerous reprints for Commander have helped keep the price of this desirable card in check, and revised copies can be had for anywhere between $4 and $12. And finally, we come to the number 1 card on our list. This spell is undoubtedly the most powerful Magic card ever printed, though it's illegal in all sanctioned formats. Our top card is Contract from Below. As an anti-card, it's illegal basically everywhere, but when anti-rules are in effect, nothing is more powerful than a one-sided draw 7 for a single mana. Sure, you have to ante an extra card to use it, but what does that matter if you're going to win the game because of it? Contracts were printed and revised, meaning they are plentiful and cheap, usually obtainable for less than $1. And, special note, announced right here, all Nightmare 99 online participants will receive a special Contract from Below altar to commemorate their participation. That concludes our exploration of the top 20 cards for under $20 in Nightmare 99. Hopefully you were inspired to check some of these cards out and brew decks featuring them. In any case, if you would like to play in the tournament, search for the Nightmare 99 Online June 2020 Facebook group to sign up. Full event details are available on our website, emeraldcitytrolls.com. Nightmarish brewing, folks.